Good evening. The Toronto Raptors beat the Atlanta Hawks 123, 121. Oh, lovely start there. It's a weird game. We got Jordan Wara starting. Gary leading them in minutes at the half and potentially for the whole game. Check that in a sec. And just some comically bad execution from the Atlanta Hawks, who were without their coach, who just, I mean, this man snapped. Like he saw Trey Young on the ground and bought it first of all, which is, I mean, that's like beautiful in like in kind of a twist. Like there is some beauty in believing Trey Young to that level because like I think a few 2 or 3 minutes before that happened, big shark. Trey got an elbow. I think it might have been even from Grady, who is still. I don't. Did he complete his physical examination? Like his did Grady complete the workout plan? Is it ongoing? But it has apparently been so successful that when Trey felt a little bit of elbow, he broke his neck. Which honestly, like I actually give a lot of credit to Trey Young because you can learn a lot about like the 2017 NBA landscape by watching Trey Young now. Like he's a throwback player in today's NBA, which is cool. There's not that many throwback players. Like he's actually a throwback. Like not many like nowadays foul baiting and stuff. It's more like calculated, I think. Like people are more they're more tactical. It's like, okay, this I got hit. I think they practice it too. It's like, okay, I got hit on the chest, so naturally like this shoulder should go or this shoulder should go. But with Trey, it's just like I got hit and whoa, and I lose my shit. Good hair day today. Growing the hair out. Gonna be a fucking hippie my next life. But yeah, just comical execution by this Atlanta Hawks team. Kind of fresh off Eastern Conference run, with in 2021, which I don't know if there's a single storyline in the NBA that gets weirder by the day more than that one. The Hawks 2021 run. I mean, late game execution. So you don't have your coach. He absolutely loses his mind. Like I love the glasses. I love the tight pants. He's like 13 years behind, but it's adorable. And he just completely loses his shit as Trey's on the ground. And so he's out. He gets sent back to the locker room. Not even like he just got straight up ejected. Like he didn't have a previous tech. I don't know what he said, but this man was like livid. I've never seen a guy dressed like that be that mad. So pure cinema. I love it. And so later in the game, you've got Coach Igor. I don't know if Coach Igor had it, man. I don't know if Coach Igor had it for them tonight. Could be the players too. I love DeJounte Murray stepping out of bounds at like the worst part of the game. That was pretty genius. And then on the last play, I like Trey Young taking 18 seconds out of the shot clock to. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what he was doing, what he was thinking about. Hawks also got gifted a few Scotty with these goaltending calls. First off, we got to. This is maybe talk about this later. We got to change some of the goaltending. The goaltending's a bit nuts. Like it was clearly a block. And then we have this was kind of a fascinating game, like lineup wise too. Obviously Jordan Wara starting. I don't believe he got a point. So usually like when you go from DMP, which he had been racking up. Darko random as hell, by the way. Darko might be the most random coach I've ever seen. And I've been following sports since like 96 pretty closely, like a couple different leagues, few different teams. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach just as like, and not random in the Nick Nurse, like, oh, we're going to junk up this lineup, but just like, I have no idea how he sees the world, how he sees basketball, how he sees lineups. No idea. So Wara, DMP, just stacking up the DMPs, and it's like, all right, buddy, you're starting. So he gets 0 points. Thought he was pretty good on defense, but you just really weren't getting a lot from him on the offensive end. And even though he started, he only got 14 minutes, didn't really get much of a look. There were some other guys who we'll talk about in a sec who were a lot more impactful, but it was really fascinating lineup wise. Is he closed with Gary, which is pretty fascinating. That's another one. Gary, 34 minutes tonight. So the thing with Darko that I don't get with Gary, the worse Gary plays, the more minutes he gets. There's been lots of games where Gary's been great shooting and he's had 22, 25 minutes. His bad shooting games, it's always like 35 minutes. He does the same with Quickly as well. I don't know if that's like a morale booster or whatever. But those guys typically, I don't really know what the thought process is on that. But interesting to see Kelly Olynyk closing the game. He did a British Columbia finish there off the backboard, falling away. I don't know if that was on purpose, but that's what the snapback BC boys do. What a South Kamloops. And he closes this game instead of Pirtle. And Pirtle was a beast on the glass, but my fuck, that man cannot hit a 5-foot shot. Holy fuck, man. Like you got to get this guy on something like Pilates, yoga, swimming. It's just, there just needs to be a little bit. You needs to like Olynyk. You can bend Olynyk. Like you can go up to Olynyk and like you can bend him around. You can like he's like the bendy pencil. Like you can just go up to him. He's like Gumby. Jakob is like a fucking pole, man. Like that guy. He's just a few stretches, some Pilates. Get on the reformer. Get on the Cadillac a little bit. Get in the pool maybe. Some resistance pool training or something. Something. You gotta get something. You gotta get this guy some way to hit a 5-foot shot. Because that was just, I mean, that he shot himself off the floor tonight, with that. I mean, 6 for 13, but if my math is correct, the seven misses, I think every one of his misses were from 5 feet. And I mean, when you're 7, this is what I don't understand about NBA. If you're 7 feet tall, think about, like, I'm 5'10" with shoes, as the NBA would say. If you're 7 feet tall, I'm sorry, but if you're 7 feet tall and do this math, you're 7 feet tall and you're 5 feet from the basket. So you're taller than the space between you and the basket. How is that not like a pretty easy shot? I don't know. I'll never understand it, but continue to see it from him. Just no arc on it either. I don't understand how you're that close to the rim. Why is everything a fucking like line, like a line drive to the shortstop? You're 5 feet away. Just kiss it. You just gotta kiss it. Can you kiss anything, Jakob? Have you ever kissed anybody, Jakob Hurdle? I'm sure he has a beautiful family or something, but that's all you have to do in that situation. I don't think it's really that complicated. Quickly had he had like 24 points in this game. I believe all of them were in the first half. I could be wrong, but he's had a few of those games where it's like, oh wow, this is the Emmanuel Quickly game. Get going, get the images, get the thumbnails, get the titles ready. This is going to be the Emmanuel Quickly game, like 24 points at the half or something. And then it's like, oh, what did he end the game with? 24 points. Same with his assists. Like he'll get like 9 assists in the first quarter and then he'll end the game with 9 assists. He really tapers off during the games. I've noticed that. Like he'll come out absolutely slinging. And really missed a few brutal shots down the stretch. Missed the layup. Just, how do you miss that fucking layup, man? Like, how are you in the NBA and you miss that layup? Gary Trent Jr., how do you miss that layup? And you're like, how do you get in the NBA and you miss that layup? Open layup. Quickly with another floater, 18 seconds left in the game. Eats the whole possession. Just everybody watching him dribble at the top. Takes the full shot clock, which you're up by, I think, 5 at that point. Like, okay. Eats the whole shot clock, and then takes. It was a really shitty floater. Like it was really fucking shitty. Like it was horrible. It was terrible. It wasn't situational. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't in the flow. It wasn't necessary. It was just kind of silly. It was just kind of It was just, to be honest, it was just somebody fucking around and being silly. It was pretty fucking stupid. Both teams down the stretch. If you're into like if you're like an Eric Spoelstra nerd, late game X's and O's execution, this was not the matchup for you folks. This was not the fourth. This was not the high powered fourth quarter big brain X's and O's showdown. This is the 11th seeds who, I mean, the Atlanta Hawks. My fuck, that 2021 run. I mean. you're missing some guys. John Collins threw the ball out of bounds the other day, which was really lovely. I guess Kevin Herter and like a couple other guys, but that continues to make no sense to me. They do really live and die by Trey. Like it's. And speaking of Trey, so like it was fascinating. Like starting this game, I think the Raptors were up like 14-2, and every possession was them doubling Trey like at the logo, Trey giving the ball to Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Johnson just being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so the Raptors go up like 16-2. They put in DeJounte Murray in, and all of a sudden the Hawks go on a run. And the Raptors weren't trapping Murray. I didn't understand that. Again, Darko's the most random coach I've ever seen. Like, this thing's working so well for you. You're up like 16-2. They put in Murray. Okay, I understand that. But the rest of the guys are basically the same. They take a completely different strategy with Murray, who absolutely cooks them in that stretch. And then Trey comes back onto the floor, and they don't do the traps anymore with Trey. But I think with Trey, he was just so, like, he's such a throwback player. He's so 2017 that I think tonight he may have just gotten lost in like the time-space continuum. Like he might still be orbiting somewhere, like in the universe. I don't know what he was doing tonight. I don't know what he was doing on that final play. Like, let's just eat the whole clock when we're down by 5, 2-possession game. This is a great time to just fucking dribble. Everybody wants to see me dribble. Wow, man. Imagine that's your guy in the playoffs. Like that's your, like that guy. Like imagine that's your decision maker. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Another day, another opportunity. But like that 2021, it was a weird year. No one really remembers. There was a heat wave in BC. It was like 47 degrees. I think like 1,000 people died. It was so hot. It's just a weird. COVID was still happening. It was just like the schedules were all fucked up. The playoffs were like in August or something. And I don't know what happened with that, but like, I mean, wow, did they look not even close to that? And obviously the Raptors in 2019, but they're a completely different team. The Hawks, like, in general, still have a lot of the same kind of core from that super mysterious 2021 team. You had a great night from Abaji. There's no Shohei Ohtani, but you do have Abaji. Any Ohtani balls and penis leaks, because MLB with their new uniforms, you can see everybody's packages, and I love how MLB and Nike came out with today, and they're like, no, actually, that's always been like that. It's just the lights are different. Everybody got new lights, but you've always been able to see their balls. Like you've always so fucking funny. Shouts to the Fanatics, Michael Rubin, building a great enterprise, great company. I think they got to give the contract to DH Gate next. AliExpress maybe. But anyways, yeah, Ohtani, Abaji, like I think he hit 3 threes tonight. They're pretty open, but that's kind of more his role, like hang back in the corner. And then he played really good defense. He boxes out pretty nicely, got some rebounds. His shot hasn't really been falling, but he's like a higher IQ player. Obviously, way more defensive upside than Wara, in terms of kind of your new wingish. I guess Wara's a wing, shooting guard wing. There's no positions anymore. He's a 2.5. They're 2.5s. I'm back on the TSN Sportsnet. I had a 3-week detox and cleanse. I feel I feel good. I feel like refreshed and everything, but I am back. I did see the Alvin not dancing to the marching band coming through, which was very funny because Matt Devlin was dancing, and then Alvin just kind of stood there in protest. Just incredible incredible moment. And I love how every game, I miss this about Devlin because I hadn't heard Devlin in a little while. I just miss how every game is like a hero's journey for the Raptors. Like every game is them like traveling across like the Atlantic Ocean. like every quarter for them. It's just so incredible that we're here, that we're watching this game together. It's the fourth quarter. It's a close game. It's all just so amazing and incredible. And I missed a little bit of that during my detox. I watched a lot of Bally Sports. I don't know why I switched back, but maybe once in a while. Oh yeah, the Atlanta Hawks Bally Sports is rough. They've got that guy who, if Joe Prunty's face could be a voice, it would be. I can't explain it any other way than that, but you know what I'm talking about. Former Atlanta Hawk legend Joe Prunty. Yeah, so Raps go up like 14-2 in this game. And every possession is like the same thing. They just like trap Trey at the top. Trey passes it usually to Jalen Johnson or DeAndre Hunter. It's like, all right, you got to make a decision now. You have to make a decision. You're not on some like dunk highlight reel on YouTube. Like, you have to make a decision. You have a like a 5-on-4 essentially, or 4-on-3, I guess. You have like a 4-on-3. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Not score the basketball. So the Raptors, good start to this game. They've had a few of these now, I think, where they've come out and just like killed the opponents. This was another one of the third quarter things. Luckily, it wasn't too detrimental this time, but definitely was a little bit. And then yeah, the Hawks, they put in Murray, and they're just way better. Like, they're not the Raptors aren't trapping anymore. Murray is getting downhill. He's getting drives. Again, I don't really know why that was like just completely abandoned. Hawks go on a 10-3 run. And then Grady Dick, he checks into the game. Huge game for Dick. He's scoring in almost every way possible. He really is the anti-Gary. And Darko not closing with Dick, I mean, would have been probably the major talking point if they would have lost. But I still think it's kind of crazy. Grady, only 22 minutes tonight. I mean, 18 points in 22 minutes. I swear, in a lot of these games, he's like nearly averaging a point a minute. And no, I don't think if he played 33 minutes, he'd get 33. But like, I don't know, man. I think they need to just like give him even more juice. Give him. He was 8 for 13 tonight. I really like how, like, he's scoring from everywhere. Like, I don't know if it was his first bucket, but like the sexiest bucket was like him in the mid range. He kind of did the Gary move, but what I liked about Grady's attempt at it is it actually caused, like, there was a reason for it. It wasn't just like, I'm going to go in here and do this like prepackaged thing. I think Grady reads the defenses a little bit better than Gary, like in those situations, whereas like Gary will kind of do something like that, but it feels it's like there was no advantage for you to do that. So it just feels like you kind of had that idea in your head from the 3-point line. You drove with that in mind and then did it, which it works sometimes and whatever. But with Grady, it feels like it was more like, oh no, this needed to happen, or this should happen to create the advantage, and it did. It was a really nice footwork, nice hesitation, pretending to go left and then goes to the right. Seen Gary again. We've seen Gary do that move quite a bit, but felt a little bit more purposeful with Grady. And then the real difference between the two guys is just like the finishing ability. My God, like Grady's finishing is really great. Like it's creative. Like, he can switch hands. He can like maneuver in midair. He doesn't get off the ground that well. Like, he's not have like insane verticality, but I think it's easy to forget that he's 6'8". Like, that does make a pretty big difference. He's a lot closer. It's like me freaking out about Jakob being 7 feet tall and unable to make a 5-foot shot. It makes no sense to me when you're taller than the distance that you are from the basket. But yeah, it's the same. No, it's not the same. It's different. It's sexy. It's smooth. I think he does yoga. I think he does Pilates. I think he swims. I like it. One of his, better games. I think he was flirting with 40% on the season. He's not quite there yet, but he could pretty easily get to 40% on the season in the next weekish or so. And then I don't think it's that outlandish to say he could finish the season. I mean, 45 would be aggressive. That would be on the high end, but 42, 43 on the season as a rookie from 3, like, I think it's completely plausible, which would be huge. And to my first point, it's not like he's just shooting threes. Like, he's getting to the mid range. He's really creative on finishes, and he's developed great chemistry with Scotty on a cutting play. Great chemistry with Olynyk on a similar cutting play. He's really good at cutting, and that just shows me that he sees the floor well. He never takes his eyes off the ball. That's the other nice thing. Like, he's always expecting the ball. He's cutting with purpose, as Darko would say, with force. He cuts with force. Got a new Jalen McDaniels video coming out soon. It's yeah. I don't know why I made it, but I just had to. I don't know. He hasn't played, I don't think, since that event, so I thought it was worthwhile. Boucher, another DMP. Just, I mean, you got him into garbage time minutes for Caribbean night. I guess that's nice. But yeah, another day goes by with, especially on a second night of a back-to-back. Another day goes by. So there was a cool moment with Quickly and Olynyk off the inbounds where they kind of make this like eye contact thing. I thought Quickly was like sending him a telepathic message or something, and then he inbounded it to Olynyk, and then I don't know, the defense just like, I don't know, they just, it's like, you know, there's like the driving on salvia videos where the guy just like passes out and the drive through. It just kind of, they did that, and then Kelly Olynyk just like walked to the basket and got a bucket. Pretty humorous. Could be a potential episode, a future episode coming up. Quickly's finishes, by the way, I have a pretty astute observation. Really high off the glass. You have to go that. I know, like, you grow up, coaches are always like, finish high off the glass. Always go high off the glass. Always go high off the glass. But I don't know if you need to go that high off the glass. And he does this quite often where it's like he's almost shooting off like the shot clock. I don't know if you need to go that high off the glass, because a lot of those ones, they go long. Like, they hit the top and then they either hit the front of the rim and bounce out, or they just completely brick off the backboard. So that's got to be ironed out a little bit. I don't think you need to finish, kids, if you're listening to this, hopefully not. You don't have to go that high off the glass. Ideally, you don't want to do a Jakob Poeltl line drive, but you don't have to go 18 feet up in the air off the glass. There's a middle ground. But yeah, the Raptors were slipping a little bit there in the third quarter, which seems to happen, and then they toss out a pretty random lineup of Quickly, Dick, Brown, Kelly, and Abaji, and they go on a 7-0 run. Grady with some cool plays in this one, a lefty finish, which I think kind of all remember how he like switched it up, went lefty. That's the other nice thing too, is like, obviously, have we seen Gary do a left-handed? I mean, him shooting right-handed, like floater transition driving. He's already launching himself, like the Twitter video, the guy like launching himself at the judge sideways, basically. Like, he's already doing that. I couldn't imagine with a left, but I really like how Grady has a left. And I've said multiple times, like, I think it's pretty clear that Grady has way more upside than Gary, and it's time to embrace the Doug McDermott. Get up as many threes as you can in as short a period of time as you can, because that's kind of who you are. I don't know. So I definitely think he has value, but him closing games over Grady in a development situation, it's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, and it's weird and random, and it just seems like Darko will give you like a 3-month period where he like loves you and you're automatic, and then you just kind of nod, and then the Thad Young thing, and then like Gary was never a starter, was like always talk, like he goes so extreme on these, like, he goes really extreme and then really not extreme or something, what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think Darko's pretty hard to predict, and I think if you're a player on this team trying to figure out what he values and like how you're going to get minutes, it's kind of random, which in a development situation is like not really probably ideal, but whatever. He's the coach. So, and most importantly, 1 game away from the pizza party. So I got a pizza in the freezer. I will. I guess I'll wait. I'll wait till I'm hopeful. I think the next game is against the Pacers. So the Raptors are just playing just a beautiful string of Pacers, Hawks, Nets, because they played like the Pacers and then Pacers, Nets, Hawks, Pacers. So like and I think the Hornets was pretty recent too, although I believe they lost that game. You're just playing against like just a really nice collection of like the worst defenses in the NBA. So kind of a nice period of time to be like an offensive player on the Toronto Raptors, especially if you're trying to find your groove. Because this little stretch here against some pretty weak defenses. Bruce Brown, half the time I just have no idea. Not only like what he's doing, but like what the fit is or what the vision is. I have absolutely no idea. He to me seems like a specialized guy that you have on a like a playoff team or whatever. But I think they're just letting him kind of cook or whatever and do his thing, but it's pretty weird and pretty random and pretty like unflattering, I would say. Especially on a team that's like trying to develop. I mean, his assists are okay. Like his passing is decent. Like he facilitates a little bit. And I think with Darko, if you pass, that's like, get ready to learn 32 minutes a night, buddy. Like if you can complete a pass, doesn't really make the Gary thing make much sense, but I mean, hey, whatever. But yeah, Olynyk, I think he has. I kind of said when the trade happened, because the Dennis thing kind of didn't really make any sense, because I thought Dennis was running the bench units pretty nicely. Having multiple consistent games where 7, 8, 9 like assists wasn't that weird for him off the bench, and especially with a team kind of devoid of point guard depth. I really thought that Olynyk could be that like a playmaker for you off the bench, fill that hole a little bit that you miss with the menace. And tonight, like you saw that, he's learning the team a little bit better. First couple of games, he looked lost at times on offense, but I think he's figuring stuff out a little bit. I think him and Jakob had like 11 combined assists or something. So they're running a lot of actions with them being facilitators, kind of at the elbow. Olynyk 6 assists, Pirtle 6, so 12, combined for 12 assists, and so that's I don't think they've played together yet, though. I think that could be an interesting, against the team. Like if you played like the Timberwolves, I'd be interested to see, throw at Olynyk and Pirtle together, get the double center lineup. I mean, it's a development year. Like you got Jordan Nwora starting. I mean, why not just try it out, check it out, see what you got. Really good game from Scotty, obviously. 20 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 for 13 from the field too, 0 for 2 from 3, but I mean, whatever. Rebounding wasn't quite, the five rebounds wasn't quite as impactful as some other games, but he also is kind of filling. I don't know if he's really filling the Dennis void of assists, but obviously, you saw him with Grady there, which is great. I just want to see them play together more. But he's obviously, I think the logic around Dennis not having Dennis anymore is like, all right, now you're going to force other guys to get assists. And kind of as I'm saying this out loud, it's hitting me that the Raptors are like 3rd in the NBA in assists or something. So maybe you really aren't losing that much, losing those 7, 8, 9 assists off the bench, especially when you've got guys like Olynyk and Scotty and who else is on this team? Bruce Brown. If they can kind of fill those, especially with kind of the half starter, half secondary lineups, maybe it's really not that big of a fucking deal to lose those assists off the bench, because I kind of thought that it might be, but you know, on a night like tonight, you know, 37 assists for the Toronto Raptors. 37. They had there was a bit of a stretch there where they were kind of like getting 21, 23 assists a game, but they're back to their true form. 37 assists tonight. 10 for Scotty, 6 for Jakob, 6 for Olynyk, 5 for Quickly. And yeah, just really nice ball movement. There was a few plays where just like really good extra passes. Grady making the extra pass, Kelly making the extra pass, Scotty making the extra pass. It was a weird game, but it was like a good watch. You know, it was an entertaining game. It was really funny. I saw this story about Keontae George, who got drafted by the Jazz, I believe right after Grady. Was that the pick? Or was that Hawkins was right after? It was like the 2 picks right after Grady. And he was like, the story said that after he got drafted by the Jazz, he went back and watched all 82 games that the Jazz played last year. And I was just wondering, like, what's a worse watch? The 82 games the Jazz played last year, or the 82 games the Raptors played last year? And I think it's the Raptors was a worse watch. At least the Jazz, you had that like meme start, I think, where they were like first in the West for the first couple weeks. Super, super, super random. But yeah, this team is this Raptors team, you know, even when they're just beating the Hawks by a possession, still a lot more fun to watch than last year's team. And a big reason for that is like the 37 assists so you do have to give Darko credit on that end of implementing the system. I think overall it's been an effective way to play the game. It's just once you're now inside the system with the lineups and how they're being weighted or evaluated, it is kind of, I don't know, kind of confusing. Maybe there's some internal Noah analytics type brain trust or something that can communicate what's going on. But I think for myself and for a lot of people watching, it's kind of like, oh, that guy's DMP'd. Oh, now he's okay, now, so Otto's out of the line. Oh, no, Otto's out. No, Otto's in. Oh, okay, now Boucher. Okay, Boucher's like a rotation guy. Oh, no, Boucher's like DMP'd for like 8 weeks. Thad, Thad doesn't exist. Oh, wait, no, Thad, we're going to pencil him in for 22 minutes a night. Just like, I don't know. That's that part to me is kind of strange. There's another really weird moment in this where at the end of the game, this goes back to my like late game execution. There was a play that like the Atlanta coaches, there was like 18 seconds left in the game. The coaches like run onto the floor. I think they wanted to challenge it, and then the refs were like entertaining the notion. And then Scotty actually started like yelling and swaying. That's what I'm trying to say. Swinging his hands up in the air like ferociously to like get the ball in. And then the refs were like, oh yeah. Am I hearing something? Is there some like, what do you guys think of, what did you guys think of the game? Did you guys was Quinn Snyder? I thought the Quinn Snyder highlight. I thought the Quinn Snyder highlight was pretty good. I just loved how random it was. Like I don't think I was even. I think I may have like looked away from the screen, and I just look up and I see Trae Young on the. That's a great combination. You just see Trae Young on the ground and the coach having like an aneurysm. Like that's just a great combination of events to happen. Serendipitously or something. Alvin Williams. Duolingo needs to release an Alvin Williams course. There was one moment in the game where he was talking about like an elevator door. He was like, it's a elevator door, so you got to find the creak. I don't know if he meant crease, which like kind of makes sense, but I really like creak. So like next time I'm in a elevator, I'm just gonna be okay. We're at the cottage, staying at the Cottage Inn tonight. Something happened with the fish tank. The fish tank got fucked up, so we're in the cottage in tonight. Someone saying Dennis was not a good fit. I mean, yes and no. Obviously, like where the team is at and where he's at, it's in a good fit. But I still think him running the bench was okay. It's just that I still kind of think I think the funniest like scenario is that the front office just saw Dennis as like a drug that like Darko just like couldn't quit. We've tried interventions, we've tried locking you in a basement. We're just gonna have to like, I don't know, just like, I guess that's not the best metaphor. But I think that's the funniest. That is like the funniest. That would be the funniest reasoning, is just Darko just couldn't quit him, because Dennis would have been in the game at the end of this game for 100%. Dennis would have been in this closing the game. Like, he closed like every game. It's like, all right, you're not going to let me start the guy, then he is the closer. Give him like 180% usage rate in the fourth quarter. So yeah, on that level, maybe not a good fit. What do you guys think of the goaltending? I really think they gotta change the rules on that. I think Scotty, probably more than anybody, gets called with really bad goaltending calls, because so many of his blocks are like help side defense where he's like sliding over, and it's like, how do you not see that? How do you not, it's like baseball umpires. I don't know if people know this, but when the guy's running to first, they actually go on the sound, because it happens so quickly, like who got there first, and they go off the sound. So the sound of the cleat hitting the base makes a different sound. It's like more of a bassy thump sound, whereas the ball going into the glove is much it's like a snare drum. It's like a kick, and it sounds like a kick drum and a snare drum. So he just listens to whatever happens first. There needs to be some big brain way to get these like blocks that go off the backboard. You got to find a way to figure out like what happened first, split second, but there's got to be some noise or sound or something that they can implement, because yeah, he gets the short end of the stick on a lot of these. I love how we're still doing a Christmas, still got Christmas stuff going on in the cottage inn here in like February 23rd. So yeah, did you guys see Alvin not dancing? Anybody thoughts on the Hawks 2020-21 run? Also, Raptors get into Atlanta at 2 a.m. Dumb question. Why don't they just stay in New York overnight and come there get a good sleep and then come there in the morning? I don't really understand why teams are always showing up to places like, oh yeah, we got in at 5 a.m. It's like, why don't you just sleep and then go at like 10 a.m. in the morning or something? I don't know. It's got to be a simple reason for that, and I'm stupid. But I don't understand this whole like 3 a.m. type shit. So Jakob, we got to get him on a program. You're only allowed to shoot 5-footers. My 2 cents is Dennis to Darjo, I guess Darko, what Baines was to Nurse. Dennis to Darko is what Baines was. Interesting. Aaron Baines. Haven't had an Aaron Baines reference in a long time. That's great though. I like that. Did Nurse play Aaron Baines a lot? I honestly don't remember. I've completely blacked out from that. Mike Byers, is that a Mike Myers pun? Boucher not playing is ridiculous. Dennis being gone is great. He didn't want to ride the bench. Well, he's on the bench now in Brooklyn. Logical Raptors fanatic says Quinn was crazed. Like Dennis and Gary wanted to be starters but weren't the whole time. He's trying to give everyone a shine, so it's going to be different at times. Grady needs more minutes. Kelly Nowitzki. Need Grady to start getting more minutes. I'm just reading the chat here. Darko seems to be still experimenting. And that part, I like that. I like the experimental part. But I would say like it doesn't seem experimental when he gets locked into these weirder, more random things. Like either his experiments are like really long, but they don't really seem to be that fluid kind of within the game. Like just closing with Gary in this game was just kind of really bizarre. TZ says Grady off-ball movement is nice. It looked really good at the end of the first. Great dub. Yeah, I mean, talked about it quite a bit, but his cutting, his relocation is really great. A couple of things I really noticed from Grady tonight. One was on the three. It was from the left corner, which I believe he's shooting like 80% from like the left corner or something in the 2024 or something like that. But he got the ball. It was quickly passed it to him, and there was two guys. I can't remember who else was at the 3 point line, but Grady was at the 3 point line, like in the left corner, and then someone was like 8 feet away from him, kind of like left center-ish, like at 8 o'clock, and he was at, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock, whatever clock thing. But I think Grady was expecting quickly to pass it to the other guy, and then he passed it to Grady instead, and it wasn't a great pass. It was in Grady's like quickly drove and then passed it to the corner, and it went into Grady's like if Grady was a left-handed shooter, it'd be like the perfect pass. Like it was right kind of at his hip, so he had to kind of like it seemed like he was just for a split second was just kind of like, oh shit, I got the ball, but he like had to reach down over kind of to his left side, and then from his left hip kind of brought the ball over and then shot, and it was clean swish. And then on the Scotty play on the when Grady drove and Scotty fed him, the pass was like a little bit behind Grady, and Grady was able to reach back and grab it and then do the creative finish. So like that just shows me his coordination is really great too. Like he's able to, I don't even say recover, because it's not like he was in like a bad position or anything. Like he's always, part of his off ball movement is cutting, is he's always looking at the ball. He always knows where the ball is. This is a really good sign of like a high IQ player. And then, so he's not ever like really, recovering in the sense of like he was in a bad position, but he's really able to like make I guess the better way to put it. Like he really makes the most out of like obviously you always want to pass it to him in his shot pocket, easiest for him to do, but it's really great when a guy has you have to have great hands to be able to do that. Like to be able to kind of reach behind you, grab the ball, you have a guy on you who's bigger, and you still manage to find a way to finish creatively, all kind of in like that split, like bang, bang, bang kind of like environment. And then on three, it's the same thing. It's like he's really able to react quickly, and then get the ball back into his normal shooting pocket and get it off really quick. And he's got a really quick shot release. So yeah, I mean, honestly, you gotta get him more juice. I think like closing games definitely deserve more than 22 minutes tonight. But I also like that he's consistently, like he's in the fucking thing. Like he is absolutely coming in the first quarter every single game. Like no questions asked. So that part is great. I think you need that. I don't know if you need that, but it's nice, really nice to have as a young player, kind of knowing that you've kind of, I don't know if you've earned it, but you've I don't know, like a boring topic, but the whole idea of like you got to earn your spot. I think it's like whoever you want to develop and whoever gives you the best chance of winning. But you know what I mean. He totally fits with both of those things, to be honest. Like if you want to develop, it makes sense to have him more featured. And I think it's to that point where like if you want to win, you have him more featured. He's not incredible in defense. He does miss rotations, but he's not like people are going at him, but I think with his length and then, obviously with the Raptors' help, like if like having Scotty as a help defend, like that's why him and Scotty are such a great combo, not only on offense, but you've got Grady, say, guarding the ball or guarding a wing or whatever. You can kind of like, I don't know so much hide him, but if you have Scotty kind of behind him as the help, as like a safety, that's a really good combination. And then obviously they help each other a lot on offense as well. And you really saw that on that one drive. But I just want them to play, just get more Scotty dick, More Scotty Dick. Maybe after the pizza party. But yeah, we're one game away. Can you believe it? I think this is only the second or third time this has happened, where they've gotten a couple wins, and it does really. The pizza party. I'm going to be honest, guys. The pizza party is really starting to feel real. For the first time, I can honestly say, I am really starting to feel that the pizza party could happen. I originally predicted May 1st. But I'm getting pretty. You guys can really make fun of me if they lose the next game, which is not tomorrow. It's not Sunday. It is Monday, and they're playing the Pacers, who are on a back-to-back, second night of a back-to-back, playing the Mavericks tomorrow, 4 p.m. Western time on Monday. The pizza party could happen, or after the game. So it feels as real as this Christmas display happening on February 23rd. Hell yeah. I still have my Christmas tree up. Anybody else love the Christmas tree up? It's nice. It's like a nice vibes, you know. Got some more Aaron Baines comments in the chat. How did Aaron Baines come up? Raptors have had a lot of white centers. Now that I just randomly had that thought, like lately. Jonas Valanciunas, Jakob Poeltl, Aaron Baines, Alex Len, Kelly Olynyk, Jakob Poeltl again, counting him twice. A lot of white centers. I don't know why that is. Why is that, Bobby Webster? You need to answer for your crimes, Koo. Again, I've mentioned this like every time Aaron Baines has ever been mentioned, but my favorite Bobby Webster moment of all time is him in the press conference 2020 or 2021, sometime during COVID, during the press conference, and he's just like really excited about Aaron. I'm sorry for the people who've heard this story 8 million times. I tell it all the time, but so I'm really excited for Aaron Baines. I've been following his career closely since 2005 when he played at Washington State on the Huskies. Always been a big fan of him. I'm so excited to get him in a Raptors uniform. I think I remember looking, like he was taking meetings with Condoleezza Rice. Like Bobby was like on the CIA track. He was taking meetings with the CIA and in the White House with Condoleezza Rice during the Iraq invasion. And The Athletic put out an article being like, oh, this is so cool. Like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, I don't think the writer had ever looked into what like the CIA does or the history of the CIA or any of that kind of foreign policy stuff. But in the article, it talks about how Bobby, like his favorite part about the CIA was how America conducts business across the world. It's just like, okay. So during that era, he was locked in to Aaron Baines playing in Seattle, Washington for the Washington State Huskies. Locked in. Like, all right, gonna have a meeting with Condoleezza Rice. We're gonna talk about like who should we bomb in the Middle East? Like who's next? We got the who can we get next? So we're gonna go from that meeting, and then I don't know if he was streaming it, if he was like flying out to Seattle to see the games, but fucking locked into Aaron Baines in 2005. My favorite Bobby Webster thing of all time. I'll never forget that. I love it so much. Logical Raptors fan says Grady's length has created deflections in passing lanes, which is good. I haven't really noticed that, but that makes sense. I'll look out for that. I haven't really noticed that, but yeah, he has had a couple, no pun intended, but Dick's had a couple tips. I have noticed that, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. I had an unclipped joke there, but it couldn't formalize it in my brain. Ochai balled out this game. Impressive shooting, lower minutes, higher impact. Yeah, I think he was more in his role in this game, like hitting the open threes, playing defense. I think in other games he was like maybe doing a little bit too much, couple contested threes, a little too much kind of precious-y creation stuff. Because, yeah, tonight, 5 for 6 from the field, plus 13. Interestingly enough, only Raptors bench got to be a plus, and he was a plus 13. The rest of the guys are -2, -1, -7. So when you're the only bench guy and you're a +13, only guy who's a plus on the bench and you were a +13. I mean, sure, the lineup's gonna. I think you played with the starters a little bit, so don't ride too high on that. But that does tell you a little bit of a story. I mean, 3 turnovers isn't incredible, but 14 points. So only guy who didn't score tonight for the Raptors was Jordan Nwora. Everybody else, everybody else on the Raptors was in double digits, and then Jordan Nwora had 0. So that's it's pretty cool. And then just tons of assists tonight again. 37 assists for the Raptors. They did get kind of cooked. If they would have lost this game, the story probably would have been Atlanta Hawks grabbing 20 offensive rebounds, which is kind of disgusting. Saddiq Bey was 6 of them, by the way, which is kind of nuts. 6 offensive, 3 defensive. I'm still waiting for Rachel Maddow to do like a documentary on Saddiq Bey going to Colorado to train in the altitude in the off season. I think that was after the Pistons Hawks trade. He just fucking went to Colorado to go train in the mountains, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing, so creative." Get him in the dunk contest with Jaylen Brown. The 2 really creative guys. Get them featured. I talked about All-Star Game last show, where we also watched kind of a movie. I lost like 7 followers from last watching the movie in the last video. Just if you guys want to watch a movie with me, just watch the last live stream we did last night. And some people didn't like it though. But Shaolin Rasta, who I believe is the Ivy Lab fan. I could be wrong. Were you the Ivy Lab enjoyer? Need to go back to using more. I feel like I've gotten more into using I think from now on I'm going to use a lot of the Parasite soundtrack. Like I got like the Jalen McDaniels video that's probably coming out tomorrow. A lot of sounds from the Parasite soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. Probably use it more often. But using less like Ivy Lab and like EPROM, Alex Perez music in my videos like I was like earlier on. Maybe go back to that a little bit more. Throw in a little Ivy Lab sequence for like Shai Abaji or something. I've been working on writing a TV show that'll never get made, so that's why I've been making less videos. Apologies to everybody. Actually has nothing to do with this stream. This stream thing takes me like 30 minutes to an hour. I watched the games already. Hell yeah, fuck up my lighting. I already take notes. So this doesn't, if you're like the videos have slowed down because you're doing all this post-game shit, that is not the actual behind the scenes truth. It's because it's hard for me to write multiple scripts at once. But yeah, it'll be a cool TV show that'll never get made. It takes place in Mexico. My 2 cents says, Nwora used to hang out at the Raptors training camps in Buffalo. He came for the 2016 All-Star Game. He has a long relationship with Masai Ujiri. Lurk Squad says, we got to beat Pascal for the pizza party. That's right. He was, and wow, that's little Michael Grange here, a little dramatic irony there, Pascal, I believe, was the first guy to really leak the existence of the potential pizza party, and now you got, you got to go through Pascal a little bit here to get your pizza, and, I was in Salt Lake City a couple of years ago, and I spilled a little bit of pizza on my, my suit jacket there a little bit, Michael Grange hanging out in Utah a little bit, oh, God, that's exhausting to do that voice on the throat. What about a whole banter pod with Michael? Me, like, what if I did? I thought about this. If I did like a full, I'd have to do an audio platform. This will only work on an audio only platform, but do like an entire 4-hour banter pod where I'm talking to I'm talking to myself, but like I'm talking, but then I'm also doing Michael Grange's voice. But then I edit it together so it's like it sounds like an actual podcast of like 2 people talking. It would just take so much. I wouldn't be able to talk. I would have to have like a throat, like, I don't know, not even a massage, like a reconstruction surgery after doing that. But That could be fun. Michael Grange banter pod. I think Blake Murphy Michael Grange banter pod needs to happen with like Brad Fay comes in hour 3, takes like listener questions. Um, that would be. I also think Quinn Snyder and Blake Murphy probably listen to the same type of music. Just kind of a vibe I get. I think that Quinn probably was like pretty upset. He just seemed like a guy who was really upset that like the Pitchfork writer put in like ASAP Rocky. Remember Pitchfork, where like if you liked ASAP Rocky and Bob Dylan, like you could work at Pitchfork. Like you could get a job, but just based on that. Just like I like these two things that are opposites, like on the surface, and that's interesting journalism. So give me a job. That's why I just have like very mixed feelings about the whole like journalism purge that's happening right now. I've talked about it a lot on these post game streams. Obviously, Vice like deleting its website or something. I've written a couple articles for Vice that I don't show anybody, because when you write for a place like Vice, this is what I love about these places like Vice, for example. I don't think I signed any NDAs. So for Vice, so say you got a feature and you go down to the venue and you get there a little bit early, and your features with like a group of DJs, and there's like 4 of them. 2 of them are cool. 2 of them think they're reinventing like the fucking world, And so you do the whole, you go to their show, their stuff already, like you listen to their stuff, but like, you're doing an article on them for Vice. You go to their show, you take their pictures, you're in a couple of pictures with them, you're talking with them before the show, during the show, you're kind of just whatever, enjoying the show, I guess. Then after the show, you're talking to them, and then you're putting your piece together, you're writing your intro, your pyramid top down thing that Michael Grange doesn't do, but most writers do, where like the pyramid, Hemingway style. There's 2 ways of writing news. You can write like Hemingway or like Grange. You could choose one, but you can only write there's only 2 ways of writing, Grange or Hemingway. You either put your lead 75% of the way into your article and dance around everything with flowery purple prose, or you just fucking hit them with it. So you do all that shit. You write your article. It's all perfect. It's all beautiful. You obsess over it. Blah, blah, blah. It's all great. But this is what I don't think people realize is when you do all that, you don't get to write your headline and you don't get to pick your image. So they got someone else doing that because of brand unity. Got to have brands. Got to be the same. Everything's got to be the same brand. It's like, well, the reason I got this fucking gig is because I was at a techno show that my friends put on in an underpass, like under like an underpass next to a like train tracks, and they're playing tech like actual, not, and I don't mean techno like someone who like Kevin Durant comes out and is like, I don't like techno. I don't mean that kind of, I mean actual like actual Berlin techno, decipherable from like tech house or deep house or whatever. Like techno. I don't really like it. I like it more than house, but I don't really like it that much. So I'm standing in the back with this chick, and we're both just like dressed in black, and I don't think I knew her at all. Maybe like had met her once or heard about her or something. I don't think I know she worked for Vice. But we just started talking about like 2008 dubstep. By the way, did you guys see Shaq at All-Star Game when they introduced him as like DJ Diesel? And he's playing like Datsik and Excision songs I used to listen to in my dorm room in like 2009, but it's like modern. Like he's 13 years behind the bro step trend. That's a tough one to say. Just imagine showing him like Bass Nectar and Excision and stuff in like 2009, and him just being like, what the fuck is this stupid computer shit? And now he's like, wow, 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 wow. Like, it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like, you're 13. They were doing like, we were putting this on at parties like 13 years ago, like blackout drunk, and like half the party got up and left and said, fuck you, like fuck this shit. And then a year later, you got like Kodak putting RIP, putting like Skrillex, which by the way, most important video on all of YouTube is All My Homies Hate Skrillex. It's by Timba on Toast. It's a mandatory watch. I watch it every 6 months. All My Homies Hate Skrillex. You just have to watch that. But he's in the fucking like Kodak commercial like a year later. But yeah, so we're standing at the back, and we start talking about like 08 dubstep, like Scream, Benga, DMZ, Koki, Lofa, Mala, Silky. The guys, man. The fucking guys. And then we like walked outside to the smoking area. I wasn't smoking. And then we were just talking like music, Future Garage, Burial, Sorrow, Fella, like all this stuff. Both hated techno. Still to this day. I like Tremolar and like Aphex Twin, and some of Aphex Twin's aliases, Autekra isn't one of his, is it? What's his main alias called? I can't remember. But yeah, I never really got into that stuff. So we were just talking about music out in the smoking area next, or I guess further away from the train tracks, closer to the sauna. East Vancouver is weird, but if you want culture, that's where you basically have to live. Otherwise, you're living in the suburbs. Like East Vancouver is like the only place that you can actually live in the Lower Mainland, because everything else is like suburbs. Richmond's cool. It's got the whole like Asia vibe, but to the point where it's like you could go to Richmond and like trick yourself that you're in Asia. Like it's to that level. So it's actually cool because it's actually like different. But the rest is like suburbs or like Lululemon, Cactus Club. And then East Vancouver is this like weird place where like people smoke and there's like graffiti and train tracks. Yeah, it's the only place you can live. Where was I going with that? Any last words from the chat? You guys excited for the party? I have a Dr. Oetker four cheese pizza ready to go, waiting to go. I believe I have fresh basil to put on it, and some Parmesan. So I will, if the Raptors get the W on Monday, I will enjoy a slice of pizza with all of you. And I encourage everybody to do the same. Get your pizza ready. I went 2 years without pizza a while ago and I was completely vegan, but now I wanted to eat sidekicks again. The sidekicks, you put it in the boil the water. So I slipped on being a vegan. So I'm vegetarian now, so I can also eat pizza. So I get a little basil on mine, little Parmesan. But yeah, it's exciting, man. Like it really does. The pizza party, it really feels like it could actually happen. For the first time in my life, I think a Raptors pizza party could happen. And it's poetic that the only man, I guess Halliburton as well. I wonder if you ever got bullied for that name in school. Like speaking of Bobby Webster in the CIA, I wonder if you ever got bullied for like if people ever poured like oil in his juice box or something. But you got Halliburton, and shouts to Dick Cheney and Halliburton, of course. But you've got Pascal to go through, so that's going to be kind of poetic. I think they should invite it. Is the game in Indiana? Like, where's the game, by the way? So NBA Raptors. I think it's in Indiana. Let me check here. I think the pizza party. The pizza party's at Indiana. So do they have pizza in Indiana? Indianapolis. I don't think Indiana actually exists, but okay. So the top ranked pizza places, Indianapolis, according to TripAdvisor, are Barbo Pizza. Barbo, is that right? Wow, shouts to TripAdvisor for having an HTML. Still, in 2024, TripAdvisor has an HTML in their web address. That's incredible. I haven't seen that in 10 years. Baz Basbo Baz Basbo. Is that, how else would you guys say that? Basbo? Basbo? But this is Indiana, by the way. Gotta remember. I guarantee most people in Indiana would pronounce this like Bazbiex, Bazboex. But I'm gonna say like Bazbio. But what is that? That's only 4.5. Okay. Brozini Pizzeria. Brozini. That's a bit. That's a. What the fuck is that? Is that what? That does not look like pizza. Hot tip: if you're sending into TripAdvisor, I know they have .html in their URL. Best Western Plus North India. Best Western Plus Indianapolis north of Pyramids. That looks. I gotta go to Indiana, man. This looks amazing. Brozini Pizzeria. These garlic knuckle. What? No, man. Indiana's not real. Garlic knuckles? Their garlic knuckles. So their garlic. That's like poetry. Their garlic knuckles. THERE. Their lay garlic knuckles. Their garlic is this a thing? Like, I've never left the West Coast. Brozini Pizza. You got to try the garlic knuckles. Okay. Giacomo upper crust pizza. Upper crust. Okay. So those are your top 3. I like Basbo. For a salad and a medium pizza, it was only $20.60. For a salad and a medium pizza, it was only $20.60. That seems like not that. I guess if it's is it a higher end place? Basbo Pizza. This is the best place. In Indianapolis, which is a real city. Let's check out Basbo. Actually, you know what? I want Brozini because I want to find out what the fucking garlic knuckles are. I can't even say it properly. Bozzini Pizza. Let's fire up the Bozzini Pizza. Bozzini Pizza, Indianapolis. Could you make this name longer? Indianapolis. Brozini Pizza. Wow, they look like it looks like Zellers. It looks like Sears from the outside. This is incredible. Okay, I gotta get this website up here. I don't know if it'll show up on the website, but if you Google, I guess I could figure that out. I guess I could figure out how to be a streamer. I guess I could learn that at some point, maybe next year. Should I do these next? Oh, is that gonna work? Brozini. Let's see. Brozini garlic. Okay, here we go. Brozini Pizzeria, established 2008. Okay. I think if you're gonna put established, it's got to be older than. Chat. What's the minimum? This doesn't feel right to me. So this, I mean, shouts to starting a pizza restaurant, a pizza thing. In 2008. I think there's got to be a cutoff. I mean, I know the economic crisis happened that year, so that's cool that you did that. But, they got 4 locations. So, Speedway, Indiana. Is that the car racing? Like, is that related to car racing? Emerson Avenue, Indianapolis. Nashville, Indianapolis. And Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. The fuck? Okay, so you got Indiana, Florida. This is interesting. I gotta see the garlic knuckles though. Like if I don't figure out what that is. Catering, is this gonna work? There's nothing I hate more. If you're a web developer, by the way, there's nothing I hate more than a fucking contact form. I I don't think it's right. Indianapolis. Okay, let's get the menu up here. No pictures on the menu. I think there's usually, but I like this. Brozini, Indianapolis. Okay. Dine in or takeout. So you can do both. It's pretty unique. I like that. Our takeout is conveniently located adjacent to the restaurant. Our takeout is located conveniently adjacent. Conveniently located. Our takeout is should it all right, what are we out? Okay, yeah, we're over an hour. We're safe now. This is just we're in the completely nonsense. Shouldn't it be our takeout is located? I guess not. Our takeout is I would say our takeout is located no. I don't like this. Our takeout is located Our takeout is conveniently located adjacent to the restaurant. It's just how do you fix that though? Our takeout is conveniently located next to the restaurant. Our takeout is located conveniently next to the restaurant. I don't know. Garlic knuckles. First thing on the menu, garlic knuckles. Our house-made dough tied in a knot and drizzled in garlic butter. Okay. 4 for $6, 8 for $10. Garlic knuckles. Really would have liked a picture on that. Plain breadsticks. I know what that is. But breadsticks, you got breadsticks and knuckles. I don't get the knuckles thing. Garlic knuckles. Okay. I really wish there was. There's a Guggenheim pizza. Okay. I like that. That's what I would get, even though I can't eat anything on it. Vegan grass. Yes, I know there's vegan pizza. I ate a lot of it during my tenure. Brozini. So that's Brozini. That's let's check out Bazbo. I mean, if I do all this work and they don't have the pizza party. Bazbo pizza. Okay, I don't like this. Ooh, their website sucks. Yeah, this is a rough website. Apologies to Bazbo, but I knew it was going to be rough when their their meta tagline for their website is location picker landing page. That's so when you Google them and the name comes up, it's like Bazbo Pizza, your landing page or something. This website's not great. So that this should be a PNG transparent graphic. Bazbo. But you got 86. I can do that. Since 1986. There we go. I like that. Since 2008 is crazy. Since 2023, we've, 5 long weeks we've been in business. I like this though. Bazbo Pizza. Okay, it looks kind of like a gentrified building from the outside. Okay, that's the Main Street one. You get the Westfield Boulevard. Maybe Indiana does exist. It's Massachusetts. Bazbo's Pizza. What is a Bazbo? Because it's like a Joker guy. What does Bazbo mean in French? What are they? Do they have French people in Indiana? French to English. Do they have Balzacs? My favorite thing in Toronto was Balzacs. Should get them as a sponsor. Bazbo doesn't mean anything in French. The fuck is Bazbo? What is the deal with Bazbo? I can't do Jerry Seinfeld. What is the deal with Bazbo? I should work on a Jerry one day. It'd be a fun voice to do. Little Gary Trent Jr. or Gary Trent Jr. A little bit Jerry Seinfeld there, a little bit Mike LaGrange. I like this Bazbo. What the fuck's it called? A little Bazbo pizza there for little Michael. I like the one here on Main Street, 111, Carmel, Indiana. Give me a little caramel ice cream for old Mike LaGrange. You know what? Bazbo's here. A little basically just do Jordan Peterson as like a hockey guy, like a hockey bro. I also like how Sam Mitchell calls Quigley. I need to start doing that. Quigley. That's way cooler name. Quigley than Quickly. Quickly. Quick. Like the it's the two, like the k and the ul sound are pretty next to each other, kind of harsh, but Quigley, it's great. Quigley's great. Um, and he to bring it all back to normalcy. He had a good game tonight. I think he hit all his points in the first half. Um, Timber, let's order Pascal some garlic knuckles. Yeah, at least get the man some garlic knuckles. I'm gonna look. Okay, let's look this up. Because I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. Garlic knuckles, Indiana. I'm just googling garlic knuckles, Indiana. Garlic knuckles. It comes up first, right? Okay, so it's not like an Indiana thing. I thought it might be like Ooh, ew, that looks nasty. Okay, I gotta show you this. This does not look good. Is this gonna work? Okay, wait. Are you guys ready for the garlic knuckles? I don't know if I want. I don't know, man. I don't think I would. I think I might pass on the garlic knuckles. Let's see if this works. Ah, damn it. The garlic. No, okay. I gotta figure this out. This, we're dealing with HTML. Oh, there it is. The garlic knuckles. They don't look great. What do you guys? Where are we at on the garlic knuckles? I don't know, man. Indiana, what are you guys doing over there? This looks a little bit too wet for me. I always knew the West had the Midwest had a wet food, but I mean I don't know, man. Are you guys rocking with this? Are you guys ordering? Like, would you, if this came to your table? I'm sorry. Like if you're out, I assume their pizza looks normal. Like I assume the pizza looks like pizza would. Pizza doesn't have that. Pizza's kind of like sushi, I think. Like it's really hard to get like horrible. It's really hard to get horrible. The worst sushi I ever had was in Colombia. It was like just so dry. But yeah, imagine so you're out for pizza and they deliver this soaking wet. Like, do you even have to chew this? Okay. This is like forever what I'm gonna associate the entire land of Indiana with from now on. This is amazing. It's the garlic knuckles. Oh, they're probably really good too. But yeah, I don't know. This is the number 2 spot. Sorry, I don't mean in number 2, but kind of. But this is the number 2 spot in Indiana, apparently. Oh God, there's more pictures. Some of these, that one doesn't look as bad. Ew. Okay, this one's ew. Okay, Indiana. I know a lot of like NBA players. I know when they used to come to Vancouver, they used to always groan of like, oh, I gotta go to. But I mean, here's another picture of the garlic knuckles. Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, Doc. So that's what's happening in Indiana. That's what you get from the the number 2 spot, the garlic knuckles. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this. Pretty much, a little garlic knuckle there back in the Shark Tank. These fucking sharks, man. Gotta watch out for these fucking sharks. You never know what. Look at this guy. He's like see through. Never know what he's gonna do with these sharks. Also, oh yeah, randomly, in the Jalen McDaniels video, probably coming out tomorrow, there is a Jaws reference. Holy shit. No, I'm actually not even pretending right now. Holy fuck. The scene that I have, how is this happening? The scene that I use from Jaws, does anybody know where I'm going with this? I just want to see it in the chat. Does anybody know what I'm about to say? Does anybody know where I'm going with this? No. Nobody cares. The scene I'm using from Jaws is the Indianapolis scene. The fuck? I honestly did not mean to do accidental triangulation here with Jaws, the shark in the back, Indianapolis, garlic knuckles. I don't think there's any garlic knuckles, but yeah, it's the Indianapolis scene where he's like, shark's eyes. I need water before I do the Jaws voice. No distress signal had been sent. Shark's eyes, black eyes, dark eyes, like a doll's eyes, lifeless eyes. I can't do it. My voice is shot. Normally I can kind of do it, but after you do the Grange, that's the thing with Grange. Once you do Granger's voice, you pretty much lose everything else. Like you kind of once you dip into that, you kind of lose your ability because it just really cooks you. I don't know how he can talk like that for extended periods of time. That's why I gotta do the podcast. Gotta get Michael Grange on the podcast. Hey, little pizza there on the podcast. Little Michael Grange. But yeah, once you get, I got this hat in Thailand, by the way. This is a fake hat, and it's from like their version of Walmart, basically. I don't remember what it was called. But I had to buy women's underwear because, or I don't know if it was, I think it was like underwear for whoever. I don't know if it was specific. I think it was just like whoever wants to wear this underwear, you can wear it. But that's what I had to get in Thailand because you go into the men's section, even at the Walmarts, the tourist places or their version of Walmart, it's all like tight shit. I don't want that. But yeah, the Raptors won by 2. One possession. You know, they were up by 5, and Trae Young decided to dribble the ball for like, I don't know, forever. Quinn Snyder gets ejected. Trae Young's laying on the ground, and props to Quinn Snyder. He's, defending his guy. Again, Trae Young for me is one of the more fascinating players in the NBA because he really is a throwback. Like, you don't have that many throwback players anymore because the NBA moves so quickly. Like, eras now are like these shorter and shorter windows, I think. There's more talent. There's more trades. Just things like change way faster now than they used to. Like, there used to be these like dedicated eras, and Trae is really from a previous era. Like, he is from the 2017 NBA where like you get hit in any way at all, and it's like your head just snaps. Like, his neck just snaps. Like, to me it's beautiful because like during the pandemic, for example, I got really into I always was as a kid, but like got dipped back into 90s basketball. I do like watching, like I'll just like throw on like game 6 or game 2 of like Heat Spurs 2014 or 2013, pick, have your choice. And it's like a cool like throwback, like it's a fun event. And so for me watching Trae Young, it's like I get to go back in time like 7 years to when guys were just running around the court like flinging their neck in the air and falling over. Like it was an amazing time in the NBA. Like for comedic relief, like Trae is one of the funniest players in the NBA to watch. It's just so like it's so like it's so practiced, it's so theatrical, and it's so like it's so integral to his game. Like that's really who he is as a player and as a human being. Like that's his whole essence. And it's beautiful because like nowadays it's so sophisticated. Like guys I think have it down to like a science where they just know how to move their body in a way that looks realistic. But with Trae, it's like a VFX experience. It's like otherworldly. It's like CGI shit where it's like whoa. I didn't know a neck could do that in 2024. Like it's just like it's great. I love it. I hope he never changes that, by the way. Like I hope he never is just like I'm just going to play like normal basketball. I just want to like, bring the ball up, pass the ball, shoot it, floater, maybe play a little bit of defense, just kind of run around. Like, no, I want him to forever be kind of this like 2017 window into an older NBA. It's like, Shea is really exciting because he does a lot of stuff that like they did in like the 60s, like crazy footwork and stuff, studying the old tapes. Chris Boucher last year before he got DMP, like studying Dennis Rodman. Like that's a beautiful thing. And I think with Trae, like it's you just really don't see that anymore in the NBA. So it's always a treat. I believe this was the 32nd time this season that the Raptors played the Hawks. I think like 30% of Raptor games are either Hawks or Bulls. It seems like they've played both those teams like every other game. Whoa, big shark. Mischief. DJ Diesel and Ivory have a sick dubstep track. I don't really listen to dubstep anymore. Like, just like Komodo, Khan, Alex Perez, Bengal Sound for sure. Distance a little bit. I just don't really listen to dubstep anymore. It's like my whole life from 2008 until 2012-ish. And got really into drum and bass after that. But yeah, just kind of fell out of it a little bit. Like the only like dubstep song that like still really hits for me is Fabrication by Email-K from 2011. Like that, you gotta get the full, there's a music video version that cuts the intro short. You can't have the intro, as all dubstep tracks back in the day, has to drop at 55 seconds because that's a bar 17 if you're 140 beats per minute. Has to happen. Maybe I'll get into the DJ Diesel a little bit. I love the heavy I love the heavy synth with really really dry reverb and like a 909 kit with your kick on 1, your snare on 9, maybe you throw a kick in on 13, and then next 16 bars over throw your kick on 7. You got your hi-hat on 5, hi-hat on 13, open hi-hat on 15, eighth note hi-hats keeping pace. Beautiful, fucking beautiful. I love it, man. I fucking love it. I love it. Any last words? Yeah, the garlic knuckles were pretty rough. I apologize for putting people through that. I really do. But yeah. So next game's on Monday. Buzzbos. So it's either Buzzbos or Brozini or Bosbos?